But for our region too in particular, the effects are being felt in the economies, in every household, in our energy security, and in the daily lives of our people. Now, for too long, we assumed that the foundations of the global economy were resilient by default. That assumption has now been decisively challenged. When tensions intensify in a region as strategically vital as the Gulf, the consequences are felt far beyond the immediate theater of conflict. History reminds us that this stark clarity. The oil shocks of the 1970s were not merely episodes of energy disruption. They triggered inflation, constrained growth, and reshaped the global economic order. Yet today, the risk of more profound and pernicious. Our economies are more integrated, more digitalized, and far more dependent on uninterrupted flows than at any point in the past. The Gulf, and in particular the Straits of Hormuz, remain central to global energy security. Any sustained disruption would not simply raise prices. It would reverberate across production systems, supply chains, and the daily cost of living for hundreds of millions across both advanced and developing economies. We see the disruption to energy and in the infrastructure bringing to bear immediate humanitarian implications with wider socioeconomic consequences. They could further destabilize an already fragile environment. Now, taken together, these are not isolated case risks. They point to a wider systemic shock, one that could further unsettle markets, disrupt supply chains, and strain economic stability across continents. Now, for Malaysia, this means acknowledging too that we are not immune to disruptions in global energy supply. We remain firmly committed to safeguarding the well-being of our people. In the immediate term, my government has taken steps to manage exposure to volatility, balancing the need to ensure adequate supply with the imperative of mitigating pressures on the cost of living. And in the long run, we must accelerate a decisive shift in our energy strategy towards more sustainable, diversified, and cost-effective sources. This is not merely an environmental necessity. It is a strategic imperative. Now, I learned of a Turkish proverb. I'm struggling. Otherwise, my friend Edouard said, you've been coming back and forth to Turkey, in the best and the worst of times, not a word of Turkey except tashakur. Now, the proverb, minari yaptırmayan yerden bitmiş sanir. Reminds us that he who did not help build the minaret thinks that it merely sprouted from the ground. Our partnership did not emerge by chance. It is built on sustained effort and commitment to deepen cooperation. It is a profound conviction that's grown from the foundations of mutual trust, respect, and shared values. Diplomacy must therefore extend beyond governments. It must be carried forward by our institutions, our industries, and our people, so that its benefits are widely shared. Ultimately, the question before us is simple. Do we act collectively and with purpose to avert a crisis whose consequences will be felt across generations? Or do we allow short short-term calculations for quick gains that would eventually lead us to long-term instability. Now, as we attempt to answer these questions, let us remind ourselves that the choices we make today will not only shape the trajectory of the conflict, but will also define the character of the global order that emerges from it. Giving peace a chance is not a mere mantra, nor can peace be handed to us on a platter. It must be built deliberately and patiently, with resolve, with courage, and with an unwavering commitment to justice and human dignity. It is not sustained by silence, nor secured by force alone, but by the quiet, persistent work of those who refuse to accept that conflict is our destiny.